I nearly didn't make this video today because I'm undergoing skin treatment on my face. And part of that process has been to shave my head and apply some cream to help with the healing, which is happening. But this is the result. So I'm not feeling particularly attractive at the moment. And my own Drama Llama was saying, don't do it this week. Don't post the video. Wait until your hair grows back a bit more, of which there is not a lot anyway, but still, and your face clears up. But I thought this would be a perfect example to be able to demonstrate the role of the Drama Llama and how it affects our life and our behavior and can stop us doing things that we want to do and perhaps exploring other options to life that we wouldn't normally explore because of really what is a whole bunch of fears. And so my Drama Llama was saying to me, people will think how ugly you are, how old you are, just they will be totally put off by this video, by the way that you look. You will lose all credibility and you certainly won't get any followers or anybody interested in the message that you want to portray. And so that nearly ruled my view on what to do. And like I say, that was going to be not to post the video. But I thought, no, I'm going to tame my Drama Llama and post my video. So, on the one hand, it's perfectly understandable that when you're not feeling confident, when you've got a face looking like this, you're going to be going, no, it's best not to post. I won't shock people. I'll just wait till I feel a bit more confident. But then I thought this is a very good example to practice what I preach, how to tame the Drama Llama. Now, I want to talk a little bit, I want to go deeper about where those fears are that Drama Llama was trying to convince me with in terms of not posting. And it's good to explore beliefs behind the voice of the Drama Llama. And that's where I guess a counseling therapeutic approach comes in when you're open to exploring a bit more rather than believing everything that your Drama Llama says. And so when I explore where my fears and beliefs came from, they go way back to childhood and coming from really what was an abusive background. I grew up in an abusive family and I grew up with very low self-esteem. I didn't like who I was. I was not a confident person. I believed nothing would ever go right for me. I was a failure. All of that self-doubt type of talk. And that stayed with me for many, many years until I came across the practice of acceptance and commitment therapy, or acceptance and commitment training, or ACT as it is abbreviated. And that helped me start to realize that I am not my thoughts. I don't know how many of us actually think that way. We are not our thoughts. We have them every second of the day. I've heard some estimates that we can have up to 80,000 thoughts a day. Our mind is never not thinking. It's thinking so much that I think we don't even realize that we're thinking, but they are just thoughts. And what ACT was able to teach me was that I can't stop those thoughts, but to be more aware of those thoughts. And in that process, we can start to separate ourselves from those thoughts and start to choose which ones are benefiting us. So it's typical of me with my background to have a lot of thoughts that nobody is going to be interested in my message, what I've got to say. My channel's not going to do well. I'm not going to be able to support and help people, which is ultimately my aim in putting together this YouTube channel. So that's the dominant voice that is there in the background. Now, I also want to add, it's a protective voice that we have, would you believe? So, anytime you have those doubts, those fears, those worries, stressful thoughts, anxiety, depressive thoughts, you just want the world to go away, it's actually a protective, safety based approach that we've developed because we're basically animals and we were born to survive from an evolutionary perspective. When we come into this world, there's one main aim, and that is to survive to the age of reproduction so that we can have offspring and keep the species going. That's from an evolutionary perspective. So, if we can get to that age of reproducing more safely, then there's more chance we're going to have offspring and keep this human species going. So that's it from an evolutionary perspective. So the safer we can do that, the better it's going to be for the survival of our species. So with our background, in my case, coming from an abusive background, I just learned to be in the background, to not have a voice, to hide away, to protect myself because of that abuse that I endured as a child. That was my inbuilt safety mechanism. Just lie low, really don't let your voice out to the world. Don't show who you are because you're going to get hurt. That was the message that I got from a young age. And then it makes sense that even from a dysfunctional perspective, that was the way that I kept safe. So, in that survival way, to survive to an age where I can reproduce, so to speak, that was the message I got. Just lay low. Nobody wants to know who you are. It's best not to say anything. Your voice is not worthy of anything. That was almost like a dysfunctional way to be able to survive, to get to that age of reproducing and beyond, to keep the species going. So when I started to understand that was the dominant belief system I had about my life, the more I could accept that and be aware that that was my fundamental background, then I stopped fighting with it. I stopped trying to change it, control it. I stopped beating up on myself. I learned to accept that um, the I'm a failure, the low self esteem story, the I'm unworthy story is just a part of who I am because of my background. And I'm going to stop fighting it, trying to control it, try to fix it. I'm going to stop playing into those beliefs. I'm just going to be aware that they are there and they are part of who I am because of my experience in life. So I think that's really important. That's the voice of the Drama Llama, even though it can often be unwanted, uncomfortable, make us feel fearful, stressed, anxious, depressed, whatever you want to call it. It's actually just trying to protect us. It's a biological imperative, so to speak. So the more you can explore your own belief systems and your backgrounds and what has led you to who you are today with that makeup of your belief systems, etc., your dominant story, the more you can be aware of that, then the more we can decide whether it's benefiting us or not. So when I had that thought, that story, that Drama Llama was whispering in my ear not to produce a video today because of the perceived backlash I would get, and it wouldn't be successful, and that would make my life less safe, so to speak. Can you see how that all ties in? If I was stuck to that story, I wouldn't have made the video and I would have lay low and I would have been in that zone of not feeling confident about myself and totally believing that I shouldn't make this video. So because I was aware that that was the dominant story playing out, I was then able to have better choice as to whether I don't make the video or I do make the video. And I did the ACE process, which is what I really promote. I became aware of the story, the um, inferior story, the I'm worthless story that with what I just said a moment ago about the origins of that from childhood, I was aware that that story was playing out. And I was able to follow the ACE process. So I was aware of the story. I connected with my body. I wriggled my toes. I came back into my body. I grounded myself. I looked around me. I cemented myself in this present moment so that I could separate slightly from that story and in the process be able to say, okay, what other options are available to me? And then the other options became, well, even though I'm still going to feel a bit vulnerable, um, I'm still going to feel a little bit scared, a little bit insecure, I will still go ahead and make the video because this is the perfect way to example how Drama Llama operates and how our dominant beliefs and our fears and our stresses and our anxieties can hold us back from being the person rather, that we truly want to be, that will help us flourish in this world even better than we could imagine. And so that's why I went ahead and I'm doing this video right now. So I hope that makes sense. Just gonna have a drink. Be aware of your drama llama. Be aware of your dominant story. You don't have to know all of the ins and outs, but it's good to be able to be aware of what Drama Llama is saying, which is really that problem solving, rational, logical brain just trying to keep us safe, doing it in a way that it has learnt from our previous experiences. And so, with my abusive background, the dominant story that I have is that I'm not worthy. Nobody is interested in my message or what I've got to offer, even more so when I'm looking like I am at the moment. So just don't do anything, Mark. Lay low. It's the safest way for you to continue in life. So that served me well years ago, but it's no longer serving me. So it's not about trying to get rid of that story. It's about learning to accept it and manage it when it does present itself, such as it is in this present moment. So I hope that makes sense. If you would like to know more about this way of being more aware, and of being able to manage your story, our own story, we all have stories, then please feel free to follow the link below because I have a very simple ebook that you can download that will teach you this strategy of ACE, awareness, connecting, engaging with the world around you, exploring other options that would be of more benefit to your life in this present moment so that you can live more fully right now. Feel free to follow that link and download the ebook, and it will have some of these practical exercises that I use, that we can all use to help improve the quality of our life in this very present moment so that we can get out of our head and into our life. Hope you enjoyed this video, or you got at least a lot out of it. Thank you.